Hello, today we're going to discuss Lesson 4.5, Displaying Data. Our objective is we can display data in bar graphs, histograms, and line graphs. Here's our first vocabulary alert. A bar graph. It's just a good way to display data that can be graphed in categories like colors, ages, and we've got frequency tables, which are just a helpful way to organize data, which is given as a list. So let's look at our first example, displaying data in a bar graph. We need to first organize the data into a frequency table and then make a bar graph. Now the following are ages when a randomly chosen group of 20 teenagers received their driver's licenses. So we're going to make a frequency table for each of the ages that appears in this list. Now I only see 4 different ages that appear, which are 16, 17, 18, and 19. So let's start by making that table. So now let's count how many times 16 appears in our list. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we'll put 11 in the frequency. Now how about 17? 17 appears 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 18 appears 1, 2, 3 times, and 19 2 times. So there we go. We have our frequency table. Now we'll make our bar graph. Alright, so there's one thing every graph needs, and that is a title. Now let's title our graph the age for receiving a driver's license. We also need to label the axes. So our x-axis is going to represent our age, while our y-axis is going to represent the frequency. We also need to label our axes. So right here in the corner, we can call that 0. Now, on the age axis, we can really just use the numbers we have. We've got 16, we've got 17, we have 18, and we have 19. Now on our frequencies, let's go right here and call this 2. And we'll go up another line and call that 4. And we'll keep going with that pattern. 8, 10, and we can actually stop at 12 because none of our frequencies in our table that we made go above 12. So, 16. If we look back at the frequency table we made, that happens 11 times. So we're going to go to 16, and we're going to draw a line up to where we think 11 would be. So that's about between 10 and 12. Then we draw a line over and back down. We're going to then fill that in. Then 17, that happened 4 times. So we're going to go to 17 and we're going to draw a line up to 4 and make a bar there and color that bar in. "18 happened 3 times, so we're going to go to 18. 3 is about between the 4 and the 2. So we're going to make a bar at 3 and fill it in. Now 19 happened 2 times. So we're going to draw a bar at 19 up to 2 and color it in. And there we go. We've made a bar graph. Here comes another vocabulary alert. We've got histograms, which are just another type of bar graph, but the bars of histograms represent intervals in which the data are grouped, and histograms do not typically have spaces between the bars, like a bar graph would. Alright, so displaying data in a histogram. John surveyed 15 people to find out how many pages were in the last book they read. We're going to use the data below to make a histogram, but first, let's make a frequency table. Now let's use page ranges of about 100. So we'll use from 0 to 99, 100 to 199, 200 to 299, 300 to 399. There's nothing from 399 to 600, but we do have values in the 600 range, so we'll go 600 to 699. So let's look at how many numbers fall between 0 to 99. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. So the frequency is 4. Now pages from 100 to 199, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our frequency there is 5. From 200 to 299, we have 1, 2, 3. From 300 to 399, we have 1, 2. And then we only have 1 in that 600 range. So now let's go and construct our histogram. Alright, so just like every good graph needs, we need to start with a title. So we were talking about how long a book was that a classmate read over the summer. So let's call this lengths of books read. We'll still call the vertical axis the frequency. And we'll call our horizontal axis pages. Now, I'm going to go from our corner, which is marked as 0, I'm going to go every 2 on our horizontal axis is 100. So we've got 0 to 100 to 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, and because that one book that was in that 600 range is bigger than 600, we should also go up to 700. Okay? Now in our frequency, we don't have anything that goes bigger than 5. So let's just go by ones on our vertical axis, where we'll start from 0 to 1, and each box will go up by 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, from 0 to 99, we had 4 classmates who read a book that long. So we'll draw a line over from 0 to 99, which is just less than 100. And then we will color that in. Then from books pages 100 to 199, we had 5 classmates read a book that long. So we'll go from 100, we'll draw a line up to 5, and over to 199, which is just a little less than 200, we'll make a box, and then we will color that in. We also had the range 200 to 299, which we had 3 classmates read a book that long. So we will draw a line over from 200 at 3 to 299. We'll draw a line down, and we'll color that in. We also had the range 300 to 399, which 2 of our classmates read books that were that long. So from 300, we'll draw a line over at 2 on our vertical axis over to 399, which is right before the 400, and we'll color that in. The last range of data we had was 600 to 699. And we only had 1 classmate read a book that long. So we will draw from 600 up to 1 over to 699, just less than 700. Color that in, and we've made a histogram. Oh, one more vocabulary alert. We've got line graphs, which are often used to show trends or make estimates for values between data. Alright, so we don't need to make a frequency table for a line graph, but we do need to make a line graph for the table, the given data, and then we are going to use that graph to estimate the number of polio cases in 1993. So we have some data. Let's make that graph. Alright, every good graph needs a title. So let's title this one Number of polio cases worldwide, or we can just say polio cases worldwide. Let's have our horizontal axis represent the years, and our vertical axis represent the number of cases. Now, on our years, we'll go where each or every other mark it represents 5 years, and on our vertical axis, each mark will represent 10,000 cases. Now we are going to have to do some estimating with where some of these numbers lie on our vertical axis. So in 1975 there were 49,293 cases. So at 1975, let's just go up 10, 20, 30, 40, almost to 50,000 cases and put a dot. In 1980, there were 52,552 cases. So at 1980, we'll go up to 50, and just a little bit more is where about 52,552 is. And we'll put another dot. In 1985, there were 38,637. So we'll go up 10, 20, 30, almost to 40,000. And we'll put a dot. In 1990, there were 23,484 cases. So we'll go up 10, 20,000, just a little under halfway between the 20,000 and 30,000 marks is where we'll put that dot. In 1995, we had about 7,035 cases, so closer to the 10, but not quite there. And in 2000, we had 2,880 cases, so not quite at the 0, but between the 0 and the 10,000. So now what we are going to do is we are going to connect these dots using a straight edge. Your straight edge could be a ruler or anything that has a side that is nice and straight. So, let's connect those dots. We're going to work our way from left to right, going from one dot to the next. Alrighty, so we've done that. We've made our line graph. But they also asked us to use this graph to estimate the number of polio cases in 1993. Now, 1993 was between 1990 and 1995, but we're not quite to 1995 yet, so we'll draw a line up from where we think about 1993 is, and then we'll draw a line over to our vertical axis. Now, what we see there is it's just a little bit above the 10,000 mark. So what we could say is we can estimate that the number of polio cases in 1993 to be about, maybe 11,000. In fact, if you look it up on the internet, there were actually about 10,487 cases of polio. So we were pretty close with our estimate. So, for the rest of your homework tonight, I would like for you to do the Your Turn problems on your notes for class tomorrow. Have a great evening.